What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to talk a little bit about some songwriting strategies and tools that I use in my own writing, and hopefully they can help you with yours. The first thing I want to talk about is starting with your strengths. Now, what I mean by this is if you're a strong lyricist or if you're really good at writing chord progressions, then that's a place that you'd want to start. Getting writer's block is something that we all inevitably have to deal with. So if you start with an area of songwriting that you're not particularly good at, and you get stuck, then it can be very frustrating and you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. You barely even made it out of the gate before you run into trouble. The goal with this strategy is to start with something you're already good at and move things along quickly, producing as many ideas as you can. Let me put this into context for you. So when I have my own ideas for songwriting, I record them onto my phone in a voice memo or something like that. When I go back later to look at them, I'm more likely to finish a song that has multiple sections or multiple ideas for that particular song than something that's just one melody or one riff or one rhythm. By moving quickly and starting with an area that I'm strong at, I'm able to get more done, I'm able to accomplish more things, and more likely to finish the song in general. The second thing I want to talk about is creating a skeleton. Working in a DAW or with other writers or in a band, it can be very easy to get carried away with minute details about what you're writing. Things that don't really matter now, but will eventually.
Come on, Jim! Come on!
Obsessing over ideas about the arrangement or other things is not a great thing to do in the beginning stages of songwriting just because you don't really know where the song is going yet. And I'm not saying to blow off arrangement and other aspects entirely. Something such as the tone of a guitar or the snare drum sound could help inform the writing of other parts, and it's worth it to explore those options. But if you find yourself dialing in a tone or playing around with microphones for more than 15 or 20 minutes at a time in the early stages of songwriting, then perhaps it's time to move on and come back to that thing later. Something that will help with this is creating a map or skeleton of your song. Now for me, the skeleton should include the form of your piece, so verse, chorus, bridge, solo sections, instrumental sections, stuff like that. The harmonic layout of your piece, which would include the chord progressions, key changes, things of that nature, and the melody. Now, if you write instrumental music, this could be guitar lines or whatever melody you have on top, or if it's jazz, a horn section. But for most other kinds of music, this would be a vocal melody. Now, in this case, it's not essential to have lyrics at this stage of the game, but it always helps because that can, once again, inform other parts of the writing. Now, this outline or skeleton doesn't need to be written down, but that would definitely help, and it's a good thing to visualize what you're writing about. This can be as simple as creating markers in a DAW or, a basic sketch on a piece of paper. And the most important thing to remember is that you're not bound to any decisions you make in this outline. Things are subject to change, and they probably will change, but having the groundwork, having this foundation on which to build your song on top of is very important and can help you move things even quicker. I like to compare it to writing a paper. Whenever I wrote papers in school with an outline, I was always much more prepared and I had a much easier time finishing the paper. The same thing's true with your song. If you have an outline of where you want to go and what you want to do, you're more likely to finish and be productive. Number 3. Begin with the end in mind. A good songwriting tactic is to have a song or particular genre in mind that you really like, and then try to create your own version of that. So this could be, I want to write a punk song today, or I really like that new song that I heard on the radio. Have something in mind that you stylistically enjoy, and try to write something in that vein. You can even go as far as borrowing the chords or form of that song and applying it to your own. More often than not, even if you take the ideas from another song, such as the chord progression, when you develop it on your own and a step away from that song, you'll wind up coming up with something that's completely different than what you had started with. I use this strategy with a lot of songs that I write and some of the ones that made it onto my album. And when people come up to me saying, oh man, this song sounded like this or this song sounded like that, it's very rarely the song that I had in mind, the song that I was actually emulating. Using the song or genre of your choosing is really just a starting point to get you out of your comfort zone, to get you writing. It allows you to produce work faster rather than struggling to produce that initial starting point. Number 4 is to keep it simple. Many songwriters, including myself, overcomplicate things. The most important thing in writing music is to write something that you enjoy, something that you like the way it sounds. That doesn't mean it has to be the best thing in the world or overly complicated or going to sell 1 million copies. It's just something that you enjoy. You are writing it for the sheer pleasure of writing it. So start with something, anything that you like, whether it's a bunch of chords or a particular melody you can't stop singing, and keep developing that idea. Once you have something you like, focus on another aspect that will complement it. For instance, if you write a really interesting guitar line and you focus for a while developing that, The next thing you might want to do is try to write a bass line that complements it. Try not to second guess yourself in this stage. If it sounds good, it most likely is good. One thing that I struggle with a lot is worrying that my guitar parts or bass parts are not complicated enough, or that my chord progressions aren't sophisticated enough. And this is a dangerous mindset to get yourself into. Worrying about the complexity or how others will judge your music will often lead you to not write great music. You need to do what feels right and what sounds good. Some people strictly listen to music for the complexity, and I used to be one of those people, so I totally understand that. Others listen to music just to relax. You need to write the music that you want to write, that you think sounds good. Whether or not it's complex doesn't make a difference. And remember, there's always time later to change things. By working quickly and recording more ideas, you'll have more to choose from and work with and develop later on. In closing, the best resource for writing music is listening to it. Actively listen to artists and composers who you enjoy. Study the form and harmony of these songs or these compositions and really learn them inside and out. Learn how to play and sing all the parts and really enjoy what you're listening to. The best example for this that I can give is the Beatles. There are so many things you can learn from listening to their discography. They're just the masters of form and melody and harmony, and they were able to combine so many different genres into their style of music. Whether or not you like them or appreciate them, I feel like there's a lot you can learn from them. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching the video. I'm going to try to do more videos in this style in addition to the covers and original music that I've been posting. If you haven't yet, please check out my original album. It's on Bandcamp. You can listen to the whole thing there. It's also on iTunes, Google, Amazon, and it will be on Spotify pretty soon. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.